Sometimes we end up in places we never expected to be, and there you have to ask yourself, what am I doing here? What am I searching for? This is the story of a journey to one of those places.
It's unlike anything I've ever done before.
Oh my god.
I don't think we're going anywhere today.
Jesus Christ, what are we doing? Yes! Oh, dude, I'm dying, help!
Our journey begins in Wales, where I live. Well, actually, it starts at the airport.
Well, I'm on my way to Birmingham Airport to pick up Thom.
Tim told me he'd be waiting at the parking right outside. Let's see if he's around.
This is where Thom comes in. We met a few months ago and decided to set off on this journey together. Our goal was simple on paper: get to Western Mongolia, reach the top of Mount Hoyton, Mongolia's tallest peak, and hook up with some of my old Kazakh friends along the way. But before we do all that, I think me and Thom need a bit of bonding time around the fire at my place. Travelling to that part of Western Mongolia has re-taught me so many things about what's good in life. And in a way, you're going in both feet first in the deep end, because this is like 6 weeks. There's no escape. Once we leave tonight or tomorrow morning, that's it. You're in the thick of it for 6 weeks.
Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you.
This is Nur, the final member of our trio. Nur grew up in the Altai Mountains with her nomadic family, and she's one of my most trusted friends in Mongolia. We've been colleagues for many years now, travelling more than 3,000 kilometres together across Western Mongolia. Now we're all together, it's time for our journey to begin. We'll be travelling west with another of my good friends, Awas, en route to his family's spring home. Our plan then is to join them on one of their yearly migrations up to their summer camp in the mountains. From there, Awas has agreed to come with us on an exploratory expedition towards Mount Hoyton, walking a route that we've located using satellite maps. I can see there is still a lot of ice on the Black Lake for this time of the year. Certainly not a good sign for things to come. The Mongolian landscape is vast and sparsely populated. Travelling through it can give you the impression that you are totally isolated. Surprisingly, however, you constantly run into people you know.
Hey, Assalamu alaikum.
Bumping into an old friend like this now means that it is impossible to begin our trip without first paying a visit to his family. It'll be a quick detour, but a necessary one. So, escorted by Ozat, we head off for the family camp at Dian Lake. Far Western Mongolia is populated predominantly by ethnic Kazakhs who fled the Russian Empire to the west in the 19th century. And whilst their traditional way of life back home suffered badly at the hands of communism, here it continues to flourish.
See a friend of mine, Thom.
Shokan is an eagle hunter. This part of Western Mongolia has become quite famous for this in the last few years, but there's so much more to these Kazakh communities than just that. They're nomadic herders, and like everyone else around here, this means that their lives revolve around the movement of their animals.
Can you ask him if he thinks we'll make it up Hoyton, or if he thinks I'll make it up Hoyton? You reckon? I'm not so fit. What do you think so? I don't feel very fit these days. There's a lot of myths about eagle hunting and eagle hunters, and you know, people tend to really romanticise it. Overall, it's created this impression of eagle hunters as people who just spend their whole life hunting. It's not true. Eagle hunting, of course, is just a hobby, and Shokan's been doing it for many years. Tabai, his father, was a really well-known eagle hunter before him.
Hunters want thick winter fox pelts, so nobody actually hunts in the summer months. However, the birds still need to feed, just like all the other animals. There are so many jobs to be done in the daily life of a herding family, but for the most part this allows them to be relatively self-sufficient. Of course, the production of food is the most imperative task, but also at this time of the year the opportunity is taken to start breaking in last year's newborn horses. Horses reside at the very epicentre of the Mongolian lifestyle. In fact, as you're often proudly told in these parts, the domestication of horses was first carried out in this part of the world. And to this day, some people still maintain the belief that there are wild horses out here whose ancestors have never been tamed.
I got two! What I love about places like this is that they're so vast, and that when you are a person that's living here like these guys are, there's this small spot in the middle of this epic landscape here, and if you were to sort of fly straight up from here out to space, the further you got away, the smaller and smaller this little dot would appear. Yet when you're in this dot, like we are, we're right in the middle of it. There's like 14 of us here all living, and it's like the centre of your world. It's like literally the centre of the universe. You have all inspired me as well, because every time I leave here, I go to my home and I try to copy many of the things that you do here, because I feel that often they're things that have been lost from my own culture.
We'd love to hang out longer, but Awas wants to pack his vehicle because we're on a mission to get to his place, about 200 kilometres away.
See you in a few weeks. Bye.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والفلق وهات الله والسماء لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والفلق وهات الله والسماء لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد صدق الله العظيم سبحان ربي رب العالمين.
We get a warm welcome at Awas's, and quite quickly our plans to leave on the migration are delayed by a day as we've been invited to a party tomorrow.
Another day, another floor, and another hopefully good night's sleep.
Well, I didn't sleep so well again. That's one of the difficult things about sleeping all together in one house.
Yeah, but so what is this thing we're going to? Does it have a name? A casserole. Casserole.
Running earrings to put earring to bride.
Sarat. Oh, so to give an earring to a bride. So okay, we're on our way to go and see someone give an earring to a bride.
In other words, a kind of engagement ceremony.
One of the reasons I always keep coming back to Western Mongolia is for the situations like this, which just occur continuously in daily life. And I must admit, I feel a little bit of jealousy, a little pang of jealousy at the degree to which they have a sense of community here that we've kind of lost back home. We don't get together as much as they do and share the love as much as they do. You know, when you live together, in one room, and you live as part of a community as well, there's a lot of connections between each people. And in Kazakh culture here, they're constantly maintaining those connections between each other with events like this and with so many other various rituals and gatherings that we go to. And it's great for the community because it's actually an outward expression of those feelings.
Енді міне тағы бір баламыз қанаттанып ұшқалы өзі тегін тауып. Сіздер жаңа белгілеріңізді тауып бала болдырып алайық деп қолқадарыңызды айтып келіп отырсыздар. Ата-бабамыздан бергі пәленбай ғасырдан бері жалғасып келе жатқан нәрсе. Одан кейін енді мына біріне бірі сенімді болып, ағайын туыстың басын қосып, сіздер мен бізді бүйтіп жатқан ана екі балаға да көптен көп рахмет.
I'd like to wish a happy life to the future groom and bride. Who knows, maybe our path will cross in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and that we'll still remember this moment.
Right, shall we get everyone together? I don't mind putting on my wedding photography hat every now and then. Are we ready? Okay, look at me over here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ahmed. See you. Ahmed. 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 To you too. Thank you. Thank you. And you. Ahmed.
Travelling through this incredible landscape, it's almost impossible to ignore the significance of a strong sense of community. As an outsider, you'd be forgiven for concluding that a family such as this lives here in complete isolation. But these small dots on the map are the unmistakable clues that hint of a vibrant network of connections, which will quite happily reveal themselves to you if you just take a little time to investigate and join in. In Kazakh culture, food brings people together in a circle every day, the fruits of a life of hard work and purpose. As a result, the bonds of community are strengthened and the cycle of culture continues from generation to generation.
This is our final meal before we head out tomorrow morning early on the migration, so everyone's sitting around the table together. But I'm really looking forward to spending a few days with you, travelling to your summer place, and then also beyond to Hoyton. And I feel very proud to know you as a friend, and I feel very happy that you're coming with us because I feel safe knowing that you are around.
The yearly migration route of the Kazakhs around here involves moving between a series of wooden houses during the harsh winter months. But as the weather improves, families leave their homes and move further up into the mountains where they spend the warmer months in traditional gers.
As of tomorrow, we're kind of like starting on the tough part of the trip, beginning with the migration.
жаңағы жылда болғанда ана Khuiten су деген жерде басылып тұратын. Биыл мына қар қалың түскен. Қар көп жаңерген, су терең тұр еді.
Just had a quick sit down with Awas and talked about our route from his summer place over to Mount Hoyton, which, as it turns out, sounds like no one's walked before. I'd heard before that it was an old migrating route, but now it turns out that some herders have seen a way through, but then have never gone, and then beyond that, no one's ever been. So we really are sort of going to be treading a virgin path, so to speak. These snowy mountains here are essentially the border with China. And what we're going to do is we're heading towards the sort of base of those mountains, then we're going to shift and go right and track along the Chinese border north until we meet Awas's summer place. Then after that we're going to trek further north and then cut across the mountains to the northeast towards Khuiten.
It's cool.
Nomadic families in Western Mongolia rarely move more than 5 or 6 times a year, and each leg of their circular journey is different. For example, my friend Shokan, who we just visited, travels 150 kilometres in the spring, and that takes him 5 long days of walking. In contrast, this section of Awas's route, from spring to summer, is only 2 days. Of course, it does still require us to set up an overnight camp en route.
It's one of the things I love about the way these guys live is how their community feels so strong, and this is just another example of that. We've just created a community of people here, rolled up with our trucks and animals, and just set camp, and the kids were just like treating it like home from the get-go, and all the adults and just sat around a little table outside under the stars, eating food together and laughing. It's quite a lifestyle. Yeah, I'm ready now.
I think here it is. The bulk of the cattle is gonna cross. I don't know how the baby goats are gonna do it. Alright, don't let it go. Yeah.
Көпір мынау көп жыл болған енді, бәлемпай жыл болған, 40 жыл болған көпір. Әбден жұқар тозбен жөдет шегіне кепті енді.
What do you think they'll decide?
I think they'll go for it. They always go for it. I don't know. I don't know what other options they've got, because the water's definitely too deep to go through. And they've got they've got to get on the other side, because in fact we've got another bridge after this. That one over there, and that's thinner than this. I don't like these bridges at all. I really don't like them. They're made of wood and they're all collapsing. Ironically enough, this one isn't too bad. It's the next one I really hate. Anyway, here we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh yeah. Look at that. You know, I mean, it's only just wider than the vehicle, and if you, I don't know, you know, these aren't going to stop you going over. These ones are broken. The whole thing's like, you know, like I could break that off. I don't know, I just don't like this bridge. It's my nemesis. I've been across it quite a few times and I'm getting anxious now just looking at it. They're never going to get fixed until someone does something dangerous on them. And like the last one we went over, it's falling down, but it won't get fixed until it actually falls down, and the risk is that you're the person who's in it when it falls down. Okay, here we go, straight down the middle, straight down the middle, and down the middle, 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 down the middle. Oh, I hate this. Come on, come on. Go Awas, yes, yes. Hey, bravo. Bravo.
Walking alongside a large herd of animals stirs something deep inside you. It feels very primordial, corralling the herd, moving at the same pace as a migration. It's as if the DNA in your body perks up and comes alive. People have been moving and following animals since the dawn of our species. In fact, I've no doubt that this is one of the most fundamental stories we can tell about human beings.
They're completely covered in snow. Everything's snowy, so we must expect the worst. I think from this point onwards, let's keep our hopes realistic.
As Awas has predicted, this year the major rivers are still very high, and whilst the small bridges can accommodate our 4x4s and livestock, the large trucks have to risk it through the water. Yeah, we'll get across here, no problem. These are massive trucks, they're used to it. Jesus, that's going deep. Whoa! Oh my god! Oh, Is it? Oh, God. Inevitably, some trucks fail to make it across, and it lands on the shoulders of the person who owns the largest vehicle to help everyone else get across. The last track up the valley to Awas's summer place is by far the most neglected. In fact, it's their personal responsibility to keep it maintained, since they are one of the few families that ever come up here. We're moving painfully slow. Streams that are normally just a trickle at this time of the year are still flowing in torrents.
It's not a stream, it's like a big river.
Telling
My
me.
goodness.
God, these trucks.
At last, we arrive at their summer place, but it's too late in the day to begin setting up our gears.
What a stupendous amount of effort that last bit is just to get to your summer house, let's say. Arriving at a camp like that, it's a bittersweet pill, because you've made it. And it's like, yay! And then it's like, oh shit, we've got to build it now. You just made it to a place. You didn't make it home.
Yeah.
You now got to make your home. That's a storage cabin, so it's not really for living in.
And how many people are gonna fit in there?
Well, everyone. Last time I was here, it was beautiful sun. We were fishing down there in that river, you know, catching massive fish. And this year it's cold, wet, and all I know is that in a few days we're heading further up there into harsher weather, and we're going to try and climb through a pass that's never been climbed before.
Ең алғаш 2007 жылы біз осы араға көшіп келгенде, 2097 жылы осы араға ең алғаш біз көшіп келгенде сол есінде. Біз кішкенеміз, әкем бәрі мені ертіп жүріп, біз қой айдап келдік, жаңа жастан бері. Ол кезде мына жердің қыр-сырын білмейміз, жақсы мал бұрын келмеген, жүрмеген, соңғудың бәрін өтпейді. Күшпен тозып айдап 3 күн жүріп келдік. Сонда біз кішкенеміз кезек мынада қалың гүл, қалың қарағай, қалың су. Сол маған ең қызықты болды. Қалың ана Hoyton судан өттік, қалың қылтасына судан өттік.
It's really good to be here. The weather has taken a turn for the better and everyone's in really good spirits. It's exhilarating watching a ger go up. Everyone mucks in and gets the job done. Sitting in your home, I'm sure that it must be a very satisfying feeling to know that you've had a hand in building it.
Lovely camping spot we've got here, but we're sharing it with about 14 million grasshoppers, and they seem to like our tents more than we even do.
I first came to this valley over 8 years ago after noticing a small white dot near this location on a Google Earth map. Wondering whether it was evidence of a family's ger, we drove our vehicles down this valley and stopped at Awas's place to ask for directions. Back then he helped us to locate that place, and as a result we've been coming back every year to visit his family and further explore the mountains in that area. Our route from here to Mount Hoyton will be another such expedition. Whilst no one actually owns any land here, every family has a series of places that they come to year after year. And if they wish to change any of them, they must first discuss their plans with the other families living in the vicinity. We're all very happy to be settled for a couple of days before we have to move again. The sun is out and it feels like an excellent time for some rest and recreation. A few months ago, I bought a miniature pocket fishing rod from the internet, and this might just be the perfect time to give it a whirl.
This is believable!
The mini rod works! That's literally 10 seconds of fishing.
And he got one as well.
The rivers around here are absolutely chock-a-block full of fish, and even more so now since nobody has been fishing any of these spots since last summer. So it's not long before we decide to go back home and settle down to have a celebratory meal with our old friends. We eat, drink and talk and laugh long into the night. And as the children sleep, a new life is being born outside. And I'm reminded once more that the work of a herder never stops.
Last night it rained super hard and we've woken up to foggy, misty, rainy weather. We've got a time schedule and we're meeting our mountain guides at Hoyton in 6 days' time, and we've planned that it's going to take between 5 and 6 days to get there, so we just got to go for it.
The plan is that Tim, Norka, Khati and I will start ahead and we'll be met by Awas and Albek in a few hours. They have to get more stuff on the horses.
In planning this trip, we mapped out a route across the mountains using Google Earth. After we discussed it with Awas, he tentatively told us that he thinks that it is possible to cut across the mountains this way, although he was keen to point out that he'd only ever seen the route way off in the distance whilst grazing animals in the area. Satellite images are all very well, but the truth is, nobody really knows what's in store for us up the valley. We're certainly excited to find out though. This pristine landscape is considered remote even by local standards. In fact, very few people have any reason at all to come up here. Up until this point on our journey, almost every single person we've met has told us that the summer has come very late this year. We made it through the melting snow in the lowland rivers. Now it's time to see if we can beat it in the highlands too. As we begin to progress higher and higher into the range, our worst fears are beginning to be confirmed. We are continuously confronted by banks of deep snow as we try to pick a route across the hillsides. Our only option is to attempt to cross each patch of snow as it presents itself. But they are all slushy and semi-melted, making it impossible to tiptoe across the surface. Our horses are struggling even more than we are, but we persist, in the hope that things will get better further up.
I'm not sure that'll take my weight. Down there, if you can turn around.
Oh, it's after a while the snow is freezes, so now I cannot take even my boots maybe.
Really? Oh yeah. What about rolling over the snow? Is that
I think I'm gonna do that.
That is a good. Do you think, like, do I try the same thing?
Yeah, you can try it.
I think I've got to drag you across. Be careful, Nur. Be careful. You want to stick? Nur! If you fall in, you're going down that hole and you're gone. Don't risk it. Look, if you fall in the river, you're down that hole forever. Are you sure the snow's going to take the weight of the horse? I'm not so sure about it, you know. I'm not. Whoa! Be careful. Oh! Oh! Whoa! 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 Oh! It's completely covered in ice and snow. Be careful, Thom!
As you can probably tell by now, I'm starting to feel a little uneasy about the dangers beginning to present themselves to us on this route. Whilst on one hand I have complete faith in our Mongolian friends, on the other, a bad accident in a remote place like this is still a very real worry for me, and I'm acutely aware that if anything were to happen to any of us, I would ultimately hold myself responsible. We have some decisions to make.
It looks like almost impossible. This thing is already close to July, but it's still really less now. And normally when they come here this time, there's almost very less. So let's try to follow the black place, cross that is big stream.
Yeah.
Do you remember the with snow?
Back across that street?
Yeah, and try to
Seriously?
follow the... Yeah!
We can go back across that street.
I know it's dangerous, but I think this is the only one thing that if you really want to see other side of this mountain, this is the only one way, I'm sure.
We decided to climb down a little bit to set up the camp for the night. The rest of the trek doesn't look so good. There's way too much snow up here. So I think we'll sleep on it, get some food, get some good rest, and decide in the morning what we're going to do next.
I think what I'm going to suggest is that we try and make it up to the top of that ridge up there, and use that as a way to get across to the pass and at least be able to see down the other side just how snowy it is. We can't get the horses up there, so if it's doable and we can carry on, we're going to have to carry all our stuff on our backs.
The next morning we begin our climb. This hillside faces south, so there's no snow on it. The plan is to make our way to the top, where we should find a good vantage point to see a route over the pass ahead. Hopefully it should also reveal the way for us to circumnavigate the snowfields that blocked our way yesterday.
I think we can make it, but I'm a little worried about the horse. He's quite rocky, and already the horse hurt 2 legs. And it was stuck in the 2 rocks.
The going is tough, and what awaits us at the top is not good news.
My goodness, what is that? Look. I think we need parachute. I'm thinking, if you do climbing, can we make it these rocks?
Of course, the answer to that question is a resounding no. And this is the point at which we finally admit defeat at the hands of the snow. It's time to turn around and look for another route through the mountains, but not before we lay claim to our virgin peak.
That's Hoyton. That's where we're supposed to go. Quite a long way away.
It's never easy to turn back, but our group is totally unanimous on this one. There's absolutely no way to get our horses and equipment over that pass. So now we have to follow our tracks back down the mountain and find our way to Awas's summer place again to try another route. I am a little concerned. We've lost 2 days trying to get to Khuiten via this route, and it's taking us so long to get down from the peak we decide to make a camp at the base of the mountain. I hope our mountain guides will wait for us at Khuiten.
We've just set off. We've got about another 3-hour walk back to Awas's, where we're going to hook up with our vehicle, which is going to drive us down the valley, round the corner, and about 7 kilometers up the valley on the other side, and that'll be on the other side of the river as well, so we won't have to negotiate the river, which is good for us because we would never have got across, judging by what we could see from the top of the mountain yesterday. So we're going to go as far up the valley as we can with the vehicle.
Uh-oh.
Maybe we can't get 7 kilometers down the valley. Our Pergon, which is our wonderful Russian UAZ 4-wheel drive, is stuck. It won't be there for long. It does look a bit sorrowful over there all on its own. We're going to set camp here, and then we're just going to start walking from here. And someone at some point will get that out the mud. We just reached this peak here, and Noor looked down to the valley and she could see a load of our luggage flowing down the river.
Яг жагалыг даяага кий бассан шиг кен. Итгэж цугаа гараа шин брахгүй байна.
Bags are gone. They've gone completely out of sight. Do you think they'll get them?
Hopefully. What's in it, do you know?
Food, I think. We're not sure.
Well, as long as it's not tents and mattresses.
Әкеле жатыр ма екен, ұстап аппа?
Oh, near that summer, like the summer place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes!
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that's a long way. We started there this morning. Well, the guys have just turned up with what's left of the 2 bags, and happy to say everyone's safe and sound, and we've lost a lot of food. He's had a bit of a battering, and it sounds like they caught it about 3 kilometres down the river, and it had broken apart, and a few things were floating around in the water. So Awas, bless him, he's such a gentleman. He's insisting on riding back to a family that live at the head of the valley here and asking for some food from them. And it doesn't matter what we say, he's insisting. So I think that's what he's going to do, is to sort of top up the stuff we've lost. But it looks like everything else has kind of made it. One mobile phone's been annihilated, and the cooker got smashed around a bit, but we appear to have fixed it.
The end of another very challenging day, and we're so glad that Awas made that special trip back to search for some more food. It's time to sit around in a circle and share our fantastic food that he was given. What a treat.
Kazakh.
Kazakh işini hiç kanıtma?
Yeah.
Yeah, horse sausage.
Пішем бәрі
Yeah, Thom, oynayın sizce.
Ustayımız da. Bırak Kuday sakladı o.
We've just bumped into 2 old guys on their horses who are going the same way as us tomorrow morning. So they're camping with us, and they know the route through the mountains, and apparently it's not good up there at the moment, so we kind of need a bit of advice. So they're going to head off tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, and we're going to follow them closely behind. We asked him, what's it like, and he said, with a sort of glint in his eye, he said, you're going to have a long day tomorrow. So we're going to have a long day tomorrow.
We lucked out really, bumping into those 2 guys, because had we not have done, we would have walked the normal way over this pass, and we would have hit real problems because it's too snowy. As it turns out, these guys, they're on their way home, and they'd already been over here about 3 days ago, so they knew the route. We're going to stay down with that family down there, and then the next day we carry on up this valley, which takes us over there to, there is Hoyton, there, just sticking its head up. Can you see there? There's the glacier there as well. Well, that was very good timing. We've just arrived, set up our camp, and oh my god, there's a howler coming in. Look at this. That could have been us on the mountain.
There is rain.
Well, hard to get up this morning. I think, for me personally, it's just the relentless nature of this trip. And, you know, I know what's still ahead. We've been on the move now for, what, more than 2 weeks, constantly. A lot of long walking days. You know, I can't remember the last day I woke up in my tent and went, yeah, I'm ready for today, because I'm not. I'm aching. Mentally, I'm hurting from making a film, and physically, I'm broken. And as we were just talking now, Noor, bless her, is continually positive and optimistic. And she said, don't worry, we've only got 13 more kilometers today, which is true. But then tomorrow we've got 17 kilometers uphill, and then the next day we've got to climb Mongolia's tallest mountain in 2 days. That's the biggie, you know. It's not that I'm having serious doubts about Hoyton, it's that I'm realizing now that when and if I summit Hoyton, I'm actually going to genuinely feel like it was an achievement.
Ne vardı degende yağmur ne diyeyim vardı. Ay çıkanda kalay bakıp gittim. Huk gibi o. Sonra işte bak bana baksana olmazsa da çok bak yer ortasına bak bilemeyiz.
Thoughts on that, Thom?
I don't know what to make out of it.
Well, I could quite easily see that being true. In my case, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, when she said, like, I was imagining she would say, oh yes, you'll make it to Hoyton and you'll summit. You would expect someone to say that. But actually, she said, we're not going to summit Hoyton, but we'll make it to advanced base camp.
I knew we shouldn't have gone to see that bloody shaman.
Everyone's very quiet on this trek. We're normally quite talkative and chatty, but I can tell everyone's thinking about what we're going to be doing in the next couple of days. And it certainly feels like proceedings have taken on a certain seriousness.
This is Khuiten. We start the climb tomorrow. Made it to base camp.
Look at it. Look at it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful on a postcard, mate.
Одын хайкингке баруу үшін жолда қалың нелер бар, аңғылдар бар. Ана мұздың үстінде қармен жабып ұстаған әйелте талдың каратын адам емес ана кішкентай.
We're on our way, and the sun's out. There's a light breeze, as you can probably hear. We're going to walk onto the glacier in about an hour, and then up onto a snowy bit at the base of the real mountain itself. And then we're going to camp there the night, get up at 4 and climb the best part of 1,000 meters straight up a snow wall. It's a bloody long way. It's a kilometre,
That's the way to think about it, isn't it? We're going to walk a kilometre up a steep, snowy rock face. Jesus Christ, what are we doing?
That's it. We just embarked on an amazing journey. We've been roped, wore our crampons, and put on the harness. So that's it. I hope it doesn't rain. Mist is coming though.
Everything was all going so well, and then it started raining, and it's pissing down on us. And now it's cold, and now we're soaking wet, which is not good when we're going up in altitude. By early evening, we finally make it to Advanced Base Camp. And there it is, in all its glory, Mount Hoyton. The thing we've spent the last 3 weeks working towards. Holy as they say, I can see the route. It's up and over, up and over, up, and then oh my god. It's like every climbing movie I've ever seen. There's always that grim bit in the tent when you're like thinking, what the hell am I doing here? And this is it. We're on we're going to try and sleep on a 45-degree angle. Now it's like 10 to 7, and it's been snowing for most of the night tonight, so I don't think we're going anywhere today.
You might wait more.
Like, sleep the night again?
No, I mean a few hours.
What, we just walk back?
From here?
Yeah.
I think let's try as much as we can. Then we can go back.
And then in the middle of the mountain we'll turn back, as the shaman predicted.
Shut up. Why don't we just wait another night?
What?
Why don't we just wait another night here?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. We've had a break in the snow. You can see the mountain now. Can't quite see the top, it's misty up there, but we're going to go for it. Good luck, everyone.
Good luck.
Woohoo! This is it. Moving across the final section of glacier is tough. We're making very slow progress. Hundreds upon hundreds of hidden crevasses litter the landscape under the snow beneath us. With each step, the dangers here are becoming more and more apparent. 3 years ago, 5 people fell to their deaths trying to get to the summit of Hoyton after the snow gave way beneath them. The snow is getting deeper. I'm putting one foot in front of the other, following in footsteps. You know, I fell down a hole, went down to my waist, I could see in the hole, and it just went down. It didn't go anywhere, mate. It just went straight down. As the flat gives way to an incline, we begin our ascent. Looking up, above us a wall of snow and ice, just looming there, faintly visible up in the mist. Uh-oh. The weather's getting worse. I don't know whether you can see here, but we're getting a complete whiteout, and the guides are unhappy. We can't go up because we can't see anything, so we're going to wait here for a bit and see what happens. We're kind of rested precariously on this little cliff with God knows how far down because we can't really see. God, if we had to come down now, not only would it prove the shaman right, but it would be a devastating disappointment to get this close.
Let's go.
What?
We're gonna go up.
Up?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Make it, Tim.
Jesus, are you sure? We're walking up into that whiteness.
Oh look, we see a bit. We need to prove that shaman wrong.
Dude, but let's not put ourselves. Let's not put ourselves in danger.
I'm not calling the shots here.
Who said to go then?
Guys.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is crazy steep. I've never done anything like that. And we can't see shit. It's a bit nerve-wracking.
Oh, there's a hole here.
아, 이 나무도 인기지 işte. Seni de al.
No, there's deep holes here.
They said we know.
Can I come over your side, please?
You right there? It's a long way to go, and yeah, I'm staving off the thoughts of you can't do it, you can't do it.
You'll make it.
I know. I'm trying, man.
Oh.
We're going to leave a trail of ice axes behind us and follow them back on the way down because it started to snow quite hard.
We still can't see a damn thing.
Oh, so frustrating. We're very close to the summit, a matter of sort of 50 feet away, but the visibility is terrible and it's very dangerous to just head for a skyline here because it could be one of the edges which is sort of full of snow, which will just break off and we'll all go tumbling down, which is what happened to those 5 people that died a few years ago. So we're just stopping and starting, waiting for the sky to break. I mean, it's 50-50 we're going to get to the top, I think, because the weather ain't going to budge. I mean, look at it. But I don't know. It's a long way to come to walk back 50 feet from the prize. Yeah, this is the summit. I can see it now. It flattens out. It's very steep down both sides though.
Yeah, summit.
Yes. Oh my God, look, it is.
We actually made it. We don't see damn shit. But we made it.
Congratulations. Oh my god.
Thank you guys.
We made it.
Well done, mate. Well done. Oh, 3 weeks in the making. Jesus. Congratulations.
When you're sitting around a table in a ger in the middle of an amazing mountain range and there's no other gers or neighbours or anything within miles and miles of you, that feeling you get in that circle, that is what Mongolia is good at. And it's served it up to us again right here. I mean, we're sitting here and I should have the most amazing view over the whole of Mongolia, but instead all I can see is our small group at the centre of our universe. And no one else matters. It's the circle. We can't see anything. It's just white. And that's our universe. This tiny little group of people. 5 people. Oh, I love it. It's typical Mongolia, this. Never what you expect.